For developing that good idea feeling, there's always that awesome Jonas Serrano Chrome plugin, which allows you to get some interviews Steam games have based on page. Very cool. Highly recommend. I agree. I also highly recommend that. Yeah, definitely the Jonas Serrano one. What does he call it? Review Guesser. That one is really awesome. So yeah, I definitely do recommend you go through that one. If you go through a bunch of them, you will definitely get a sense. This is the rough level of quality bar that is needed to reach, let's say, 50 reviews. And below this, you are basically going to get 0 reviews, 0 sales. So yeah, this one's also very good. Let me actually try to see. Am I actually good? Okay, Battle Beast. So this one, okay, so the text font, that one seems a little bit too simplistic. So the capsule, not too interesting, but it does have 3D elements, although not much post-processing. So I'd say this one definitely is likely not a mega hit. It definitely seems like I would call it late beginner, low intermediate sort of style of game. So I'm guessing this one is not a massive mega hit, unless this is some kind of IP that I'm not familiar with. But it actually has, okay, so that actually looks a bit decently complex. So yeah. So this one over here, so the game concept does seem interesting, but it doesn't seem visually unique enough in order to stand out. So I would imagine this one is not a massive mega hit. Honestly, it could be either 58 or 280, and it's actually $5, so that actually I'm leaning more towards 280. Came out in 2021, that was quite a long time ago, so I do wonder, could it actually be 3000? I don't know, I guess maybe if the gameplay is excellent, maybe it could, but just based on the strength of the visuals alone, I would say probably not, but it's multiplayer. The Steam page is actually pretty good with a bunch of GIFs. Oh, it actually has base building, so that is also... So yeah, in terms of presentation, not excellent, but in terms of actual mechanics, it does seem to actually be quite decent. Okay, so this one is actually a tricky one. I guess we shall see. But yeah, probably quality enough that it's not just 58, and probably... So I'm leaning towards either 280 or 3K, and actually at a $5 price point, I think it might actually be the 3K one. Yeah, so let me try to quickly see that. Let's see, is it 3K? 58. Oof. Okay, so that's rough. That is really rough. Oof. Again, that's how difficult Steam is. Because, yeah, it does seem to have basically my thought process was okay, I'm not seeing the unique value proposition, but I am seeing it is definitely a very well made game, quite a lot of things. It is multiplayer, it's got building, it's got a lot of complex things. So I hope that would mean that the gameplay is actually quite good. But apparently, yeah, 58, that is definitely quite rough. Does this one actually have... Now I'm curious to see, can I see the Steam page? Just curious to see what is the quality of the reviews on this one. Oh, okay, it's negative. Yeah. So basically, I was assuming, okay, maybe the gameplay is really good, and maybe that really good gameplay is going to basically win out over the somewhat subpar visuals. But yeah, if it's negative, that means gameplay is definitely not quite good. Thinks of a cash grab. Oh, and it's in early access 6 years later. So yeah, that would sadly explain it. Default template. Oh, this one over here. Oh, okay. If it's a template, then I guess that would kind of explain the issues with that. Yeah. Okay, so let's try. Let's go into the next game. Peace and Death. Okay, the capsule looks really nice. That is cool. It's an arcade simulator with difficulties. You play as a Reaper working for your boss, Death, and send clients to heaven, hell, or purgatory. Okay, let's see what is the game about. Okay, in terms of art style, very good. In terms of the capsule, really excellent. So this is definitely a very well-made game. Definitely not something that was made by a complete beginner. Definitely something that was made by a proper developer. Although, okay, I was honestly looking at the video trying to figure out when is the gameplay starting, and turns out it is actually already started. Okay, so what is the actual gameplay? Okay, now I'm a bit confused on this. Okay, arcade simulator with difficulties. What does that mean? You see multiple people and you tell them whether they're going to heaven or hell? Based on what? Okay, I'm definitely very confused on the gameplay. So I don't know if that's just me, if I'm being slow, but okay. Okay, so visually really excellent, but very confusing gameplay. So that makes me wonder, what in the world? Got DLC, so it has no GIFs, but it's a very old game. So back then, back in 2017, the Steam meta didn't quite have GIFs, so that is not necessarily negative. So pros, the capsule, the art, all excellent. The negatives, the gameplay seems very unclear. I am not sure what you're doing. So you talk to each character and you decide, do they go to heaven or hell? It's really an arcade simulator. So based on the fact that the gameplay is confusing, honestly, that's something that makes it very tricky in order to figure out, does this game have potential or not? It is something based on gameplay, because you can't really tell gameplay based on marketing things. So based on the marketing, thankfully it does have good enough art that I do think it would be able to find quite a bit of success based on marketing alone. But then the gameplay would kind of define. So basically right now I'm thinking, it has good enough art, so I don't think it's 35. I think this one had quite a bit more success than this, especially since it's a game from 2017. So I'm basically thinking between 521 and 2000. If the gameplay is good, then I would say it's probably 2000. If the gameplay is not that interesting, I would say 500. On a $5 game, that would probably be it. So definitely quite rough because you can't quite tell gameplay based on videos. At least I can't quite tell. I can't quite tell what is it doing. Seems like Papers, Please mechanic, but is it? Because like just showed up someone, and that someone just said something. So at least the original trailer didn't really say anything. You got some cards? Okay, that one is definitely very confusing. I really don't know because I can't quite tell the gameplay. So it's going to be based on that gameplay. But yeah, I'm going to take a wild guess and say the Steam trailer looks a bit confusing. So I'm going to guess 521. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a massive success. So let's see. Okay, so it's actually a successful game. All right, 2.3K. That is actually quite nice. So this one over here, yeah, very positive reviews. So yeah, so it is literally that. So basically in terms of marketing, very good marketing, definitely found quite a lot of success based on marketing. And based on reviews being positive, that means the actual gameplay behind it is actually good, which wasn't quite visible from the trailers, but thankfully that is actually good. So it actually found success. So that is awesome. Yeah, definitely nice to see a successful game from quite a long time ago. Yeah, 2017. That was definitely quite a bit. Let's go on to the next one. Seeker 3. Okay, right away the capsule art looks very basic, so I can see that visually the game is definitely very subpar. You can see how the shadows are fully black. That is something that you should never do. So basically, if you want to make your game look good, you should always have one directional light, but then you should have another directional light that is sort of opposite in order to basically just color the shadows. Because these super dark shadows, that is basically a clear indicator that someone is a beginner when it comes to making visuals. Your shadows should never be 100% black. Then, of course, when it comes to text, I would say definitely don't use just text like this, literally just a white, I'm guessing Arial font, really just that. That definitely screams amateur sort of thing. And when it comes to putting a 3 at the end, when it comes to indie game sequels, those usually are quite rough. So at a glance, I would say, okay, this is clearly someone's beginner game, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all start as beginners, so yeah, it definitely seems like someone's first game. So based on that, really awesome for learning, but definitely not very good when it comes to finding actual success. Yeah. On the other hand, you could have used light probes. Yep, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I was talking about real-time lights, but yeah, of course, you can use backlighting, you can use light probes, APVs, and so on. Yeah, you can definitely use those in order to make things look quite a bit better. But the key point is definitely once you see 100% black shadows, yeah, usually that is a clear indicator that someone is a beginner when it comes to making a game look good. And then over here, so I don't even know what the game is all about. I was just analyzing the capsule art, but it seems like you just throw your character away and basically just bounces down. Okay, so yeah, clearly someone's first game, they're experimenting with something. So awesome, a nice learning project, no gifts on the description. So yeah, someone's learning project. I assume it does not quite find success, so I would guess just 2 reviews. And yeah, there you go, just 2 reviews. So yeah, 100% players guessed it. So yeah, that one is relatively obvious. Next one, Yejim Fury. And again, sort of the same thing. That background seems very generic, very amateurish, even though the little smiley face over there does seem slightly decent graphic design, I would say. Then for the visual style, okay, so it's kind of like a platformer. It definitely does have an interesting, unique style. So that's good, but I would say the art and the gameplay does feel quite amateurish just because it's very zoomed in. So it definitely feels very specific. Then the website, very long website name. That is also, I would say, a clear indicator of being more on a beginner mindset. So yeah, so this one I would say it's a late beginner sort of game. So based on that, I also don't think this found quite a lot of success. Test your speed and ingenuity over 40 levels of Smiling Face Box. By the way, that is something that usually you should never write in your description, or at least it should be at the bottom of your description, not right over here saying 40 levels. You really shouldn't be using numbers. You should be basically talking about what is the player going to feel as they play through your game, as opposed to trying to say 40 levels, 20 swords, and so on. No, just say test out your skills through a multitude of different scenarios and destroy enemies with a multitude of different weapons that are all unique in their own right. So you should basically try to focus your marketing on feelings as opposed to trying to focus on numbers. So yeah, that's another thing that I would say is an indicator of more beginner level. So based on those things, looking at these, I would guess 20. And yep, that one is actually correct. Next. Okay, so that one right away, that looks very good, very high quality pixel art. Capsule, sorry. But over here, very high quality pixel art. So this one is definitely a very successful game. Okay, that is some excellent lighting. That is absolutely excellent. So visually, really great, really nice. Straight away, that is very good. The negatives would be that it's a point-and-click game, point-and-click adventure. That is usually a very rough genre. Usually it's not the kind of thing that gets millions of copies sold, millions of playthroughs. So the genre is a bit of a limiting factor, but in terms of the art, absolutely excellent. So definitely made by a professional indie dev team, just limited by genre. So now the question is how much? So I'm pretty sure, I'm guaranteed it's not 27. I'm pretty sure it is not 700 unless, oh, it's free. Oh, it's a prologue. Oh, okay. Well, that makes things quite a bit more tricky. That makes things quite a bit more tricky. If it was paid, I would say probably 4,000, maybe 26K, but it's free. So if it is free, I would say guaranteed 4,000 because it came out a long time ago. Might be 26K. I think 200, I think that would be a stretch. So I would say it's either 4K or 26K. Because yeah, definitely very high quality game, very high quality production values, but limited by genre. So based on those, I would guess it's free and it's 6 years old. I'm going to guess 26. 4,000. Okay, just roughly, just about that. But yeah, definitely quite good. Just slightly overshot. But yeah, when it comes to free, you can never quite tell because yeah, this one's definitely high quality, just limited by genre. So I'm not surprised to see that it's successful. Now I'm curious as to the actual game itself. Was the actual game actually quite successful and how much? So this is a prologue, 2600. Okay, but what about the actual game? 25. Oh, 25. Oh, mixed. That's a bit rough, but 1500. That's actually quite a decent amount. So if you look over here on Gamalytic for Tales Noir, this one actually made about $1 million. So that's good. That's definitely a nice, successful thing. Like I said, it's the issue with being limited by genre. There was actually, a while ago, I did a Reddit AMA where I answered a bunch of questions, and one person posted about their game on Steam and asked for my feedback. And basically, my feedback was kind of the same thing on this. It was a game that had really high production values. That was really awesome. But in that case, I think it was a Metroidvania game. So it was definitely going to be limited by genre. And this one, kind of same thing. Really excellent art, really excellent production values, but it's an adventure game. So that's definitely limits, basically the ceiling, the max amount you can get, that's basically limited by quite a bit. And the fact that it's mixed implies that the actual, UI is clunky and so on. So I guess a while ago we were watching this really nice website, so I guess we can use this. What is it called? Tales Noir. Tales Noir. So we can look at this and try to see a rough analysis on why is it mixed. Oh, the narrative's actually mixed. Well, that kind of sucks because it's a narrative game, so the narrative has to be good, so that's kind of an issue. Prologue features enhancing puzzles that were absent in the main game. Ooh, that's rough. You definitely cannot do that. You cannot make a demo or prologue with really excellent mechanics and then take those away for the final game. You definitely cannot do that. Visions versus reality, the ending quality. Okay, so those are definitely a bit rough. So yeah, when it comes to a game like this, yeah, the genre is going to limit it, and if players are slightly disappointed, that is actually going to impact it quite a bit. So yeah, that is definitely something. But yeah, this game is really awesome. Review guesser, I definitely recommend you go through it yourself. How you compare? Top 71%. Okay, that sounds fun. Yeah, 50 points below the median. Okay, that sounds bad. Total score 300 out of 500. Accuracy 60%. 2 correct, 2 close, and so on. Yeah, definitely a nice, fun game. So yeah, if you want to improve your own skills as to becoming better at analyzing which game ideas are good and which ones are bad, definitely recommend you play through this game, or just do what I do in my top new games list, top new Steam games. Just do what I do on these lists where I research top new Steam games. Basically, I just go through the new release list in order to see what is doing well, what is not doing well. And yeah, if you do that consistently over and over again, definitely get quite a bit better at trying to analyze which game ideas have potential and which ones do not. And if you do that, then basically your own skills at idea selection become quite a bit better, which then greatly improves your odds of finding success with your games. So yeah.